Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. I want to tell a story about something that I did not write about, at least not in my book. I wrote it in journals that were not put in the book. When I was remanded, I went to county for 10 days, and there was a girl named Jessica who was actually in an open cell because we had regular doors and walls. She was completely open. And I went to get coffee one morning and something to read. And she looked at me and said, "Hi, my name's Jessica. What's your name?" And I told her my name's Lisa. She goes, "Can you get me something to read?" I said, "I don't think I'm allowed to do that." And one of the things in prison, you can't even give somebody a piece of paper without getting permission from a CO. So I didn't do it. And I would talk to her, when I would go by there. And she could be very violent, was my gathering. I don't know if she was developmentally disabled or had autism, but clearly there was something else going on there. And she was not allowed to have food that was not pureed. She had tried killing herself by wrapping a sausage with a pancake, and they had to resuscitate her. She threw feces at the COs. She dumped coffee on another CO. So clearly there was a pattern here. What I later learned was Jessica was living in a group home. She did not have a family. There was nobody who really, came to see her or could be of any assistance. And the kids in the group home kept making fun of her. So I believe it was an oxygen tank that she took the hose to the oxygen tank, turned it on, wrapped it around a gas stove, and I yelled some obscenities and how she was going to kill everyone in the house and blow up the house, which is why she was arrested. So the question that I have is, here is someone who is not only mentally ill, but developmentally disabled here, and you're going to put her in prison. How is that going to help her? Is she even going to be able to comprehend what's going on? So I was there for 10 days before being transferred to Albion, which was like a 2.5 hour ride, maybe even 3 hours. And guess who's in the vehicle with me? Jessica. So they have plastic down on the seat because Jessica just keeps letting everything go. And I looked at her and I said to her, "Jessica, I will sit here next to you, but you have to promise me that you're not going to pee or do anything else while I'm here." She goes, "I promise I won't." So she keeps talking. And I looked at her and said, "Jess, you need to be quiet." So I said, "Why don't you count cars?" So I'm thinking she would do that in her head. Instead, she's doing it out loud. 1 red car, 1 gray car, 1 blue car. And I finally had to zone her out. She got into an argument with the female CO in the car, and actually that was the one that she threw the feces at and dumped her coffee on. I said, "Maybe if you apologize, everything will be all right." She goes, "Well, she owes me an apology." I went, "Sometimes you just got to step up and you got to offer it first." And she did, and the CO accepted her apology, and she looked at me and smiled. Well, Jessica in Albion had major issues with the COs. And being the mama bear I am, I went up to them and said, "May I speak to you?" And of course, they were very nasty to me. And I said, "Look, this girl," because she was very young, "Jessica can't comprehend what you're asking her to do. She has issues." And they wound up putting her someplace else where she was by herself. So when I got to Bedford Hills, she didn't get there until several days later. And she sought me out, of course, and she goes, "Hi." And it was like, okay. And it was quite hot up in that dorm there. They only had the gel windows that open, and only like 2 of them open. There were 36 women there, and then only a little fan. And Jess would put her mattress on the floor because it was cooler. And they told her that she was going to go to lock if she didn't put her mattress back. So she faked something in passing out, so they had to bring her to the infirmary, which was air conditioned, which if you think about it, it's pretty smart. Well, Jess had a lot of issues while she was there and just wound up dying while she was in prison. I never really knew what it was. I don't know if it was medically related, suicide, or maybe even a homicide. But as obnoxious and as annoying as Jess was, it broke my heart. She had nobody that even cared enough when she died. So, what I'm trying to say is, you really need to support who's ever incarcerated, because without that, you really are by yourself. You're the lone wolf, and that doesn't work. The facility needs to know that you have outside support and they know what's going on. Just didn't have that. And what a crime. She wasn't even 24. So, my point is, prison is not a place to get better physically, emotionally, mentally. All it does is it removes you from society and takes everything else away from you that you thought was important. And I think we need to focus on that. Think about it.